Welcome to the Polar Homestead. We learn finance, permaculture and prepping. A modern view of the world. Don't forget, freedom is in your hands. Stay safe and vigilant, friends. And now your host, Ralph KK. Launch in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Apocalypse. It's me, host Ralph KK. And we are almost in winter. Something like a month and a half and we'll be in December. And then it is the time of snow. Well, at least where I live, there is just snow everywhere, and the temperature goes below, in average, below minus 20 Celsius. So minus 20 to minus 30, this is the average, and there is piles and piles of snow falling all around. And it just accumulates, and there is like little hills of snow everywhere. I remember last year, one night, something like 1 meter of snow fell all around the place. So can you imagine this? Just you go to sleep and then you wake up and then there's snow up to your hips, and then what do you do? What do you say? I don't know. The weather is quite extreme in the very northern part of Europe. This is why you prepare for the winter. You buy pasta, you buy potatoes, stock up on food, and then you dig up and you wait for the winter to come and to pass by. So every year we have something like 6 months of winter. It usually starts in December. But sometimes, you would not believe this, but sometimes it even can snow in October. Sometimes, every couple years it will snow in October. And sometimes, not so rarely, it will start snowing in November. And guaranteed that in December it will snow for sure. And you know, so the thing is that if it starts snowing and if it is below zero, then the snow will start accumulating. So it snows and it just piles up. So you'll start to have little hills of snow all around you. So depending how cold it is or how hot it is, you might see something like the polar thunder around you. Sometimes early, sometimes not so early. But average, December is the month for winter to come. And if you have noticed, the name of this podcast is The Polar Homestead. I got the name from the place where I live. And this winter I'm gonna be making a lot of videos outside in the snow, and everything goes straight to YouTube. So there will be lots of fun stuff to watch. Fun stuff like I don't know, skiing on the street, or like making a barbecue outside in the garden when everything around you is full of snow. And then I don't know, like what else? Walking on a frozen lake, walking in the forest when everything is full of snow. Or what else? We could try some snow. Some winter sports. We could try some winter sports. Maybe some snowboarding. Yeah, it would be really, really fun. It usually is fun until it gets to minus 30. Then it gets uncomfortable. Even if you're like all dressed up, yeah, in warm clothes, even if you're all dressed up, there is like a limit of how much time you can be outside before it becomes uncomfortable. It also depends what clothes you're wearing, but in general, if it is like minus 30, it is uncomfortable to be outside. So at most I can think that or I can say that at most, so you can be outside maybe 30 minutes. From 30 minutes to 1 hour, and this is kind of okay. But when it's minus 30 and below minus 30, yeah, it is uncomfortable to be outside. So the kind of temperature that is kind of comfortable but fun at the same time, I would say it is minus 20. Also, check this out, there is some kind of phenomena, you could say, that phenomenon that the colder it gets, from minus 10 to minus 25 Celsius. So the colder it gets, the less you feel the cold. I don't know what's the explanation of this, but it is like this. Like sometimes you are outside, yeah, it is minus 20, let's say minus 20. And you might feel very comfortable. You might not even feel so cold. And then some other times you are outside, it's minus 5 in winter, and you feel like very cold and very uncomfortable. Some kind of phenomenon that you cannot explain. But it is not just me saying this. Several people, they will just tell you the same, who live in this northern weather. It is some kind of mystery that has no explanation, but it just happens. And by the way, if you live in Europe, I hope you bought your pasta, you bought your potatoes, maybe some wood to fire your stove. I don't know, because the energy crisis is going to hit very hard every household in Europe. In the mainstream media, they don't talk about it, but there is a huge amount of protest already. I'm not talking about hundreds of people or thousands of people. I'm talking about 10,000s of people. So let's say 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people on the street protesting. Even the other day, it was like in some city in Europe, there was around 100,000 people protesting on the street against all of these self-imposed sanctions in Europe. Can you imagine that just one day your energy bills, they triple or quadruple or even become 5 times the price of what they used to be like last year? So like today, some households, instead of paying, 500 euros, today they are paying 2,000 euros, 3,000 euros. And some people, they cannot afford it, and it's just insanity. And also depends where you live in Europe. Germany, for example, it does get cold. It does go below zero. and the houses, they are not made for extreme cold weather. Houses usually are built for the weather where they are going to be or where they are located. So in extreme cold weather, you want houses that are completely insulated. No heat coming in or out, or no cold coming in or out. So being completely insulated, it allows for better living conditions during winter. So for example, a house built in Norway or in Sweden is completely different to a house built in Spain or Portugal, because the weather is hot in Spain and Portugal, so the materials used in the houses, they are porous, so it allows for the house to breathe, you could say, so that there is air and moisture coming in and out through the bricks or whatever. So so like based on this, so houses in Germany, they are not made to be completely insulated, so there is some air temperature coming in and out of the house, so it doesn't keep all the heat inside. So if you cannot afford to pay for heating, you will have like a very bad time in a lot of countries which usually depend on some kind of heating. If you're living in Italy, Spain, Portugal, I mean, it does get cold, but not so cold, so you will be fine. But in places like Germany, Poland, England, the houses, they are not made to be completely insulated, so if you don't have heating, you're gonna be in trouble. In massive trouble. The house where I'm living right now, I basically bought it after it was built, so I bought kind of the skeleton of the house, you could say. So I built it to my liking. I mean, I made the structure to look and to have the materials that I wanted on top of the skeleton. So for some reason I think that I overdid it with the insulation, because even in winter sometimes, I mean, even if there is if the heating is not on, sometimes it is like too hot inside the house. Just by keeping the appliances on, like the television, the fridge, whatever, this generate heating. The television, the fridge, the computer, the kettle, whatever, all of these appliances, they generate heat. And because the house is so insulated, it just keeps everything inside, and it sometimes just stays warm without temperature going out of the house. Where I am, usually the time to turn on the heating is around when it gets -10, because that's when it gets really cold. Yeah guys, and by the way, while I was recording this a couple minutes ago, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Liz Truss, just resigned. But what a surprise. I mean, she was there for like 2-3 weeks. I don't know, the economic minister was surrounded by scandals of regarding his bad economic policies. I mean, the way that this woman was elected was kind of very strange, because it looked as if she was put there on purpose. I mean, the media was pushing for her to be elected, and then she was elected, and then just very soon after she was elected, like 1 week later perhaps, this is very, very funny, but 1 week later after she was elected, the media instantly turned against her. So the media turned against her 1 week after she was elected, and all of this was very suspicious. I mean, like, yeah, nothing of it made sense. I don't know, perhaps maybe all of this is some kind of big conspiracy. Okay, so she resigned, and can you guess who wants to be the new prime minister? This is very funny. This is some kind of circus, some kind of alternative reality in clown world or something. Okay, so the strongest new candidate for prime minister of the United Kingdom is Boris Johnson again. He himself wants to give it another try, according to his own words, and the MPs, they supposedly they support him. So, like, I mean, this is strange and suspicious. Okay, regardless of this, like, personally, I don't know anybody who wants to see Boris Johnson there as prime minister. I mean, in civilian life, average people, I don't know anybody that likes him, or I don't know anybody that wants him to be there as prime minister. So we live in this. We live in the current reality that politicians, they live in their small little bubble, in their small little circle of friends, and they are all just like patting each other's backs, and their decisions, their choices, they go against the will of the people. So there is, how many MPs are there? 100. In the whole United Kingdom, 200 people, they are electing this new prime minister, which it seems as they're going to put Boris Johnson there again. And this is going against the will of the people. Like, most of the population in the United Kingdom, they do not want to see Boris Johnson there again. Like, everybody's against this. And if you go online, a lot of people, they're saying that if he is elected again, they will go to the street and they will protest until he gets out. So, I mean, it seems as if humans, they don't learn from history. When the government goes against the wishes of the people, this can only go on for so long before something snaps, and then the people, they will get what they want. The majority of people, the 99% of the population, they will get what they want, not what the 1% want. So if Boris Johnson is elected again as prime minister, and I know that most people in the United Kingdom, they don't want him there, I believe this is going to turn into some kind of civilian and political crisis. Because, I mean, for many reasons, right? The high cost of living, the inflation, the high energy bills to pay, which nobody can afford, gas, electricity, water, all of this, it is so expensive, nobody can afford it in Europe and United Kingdom. And a lot of people, they blame this on this guy Boris Johnson and his policies. So if he goes there and he's elected again as the prime minister again, I mean, this is going to turn ugly. And this is not me saying this. This is a lot of people saying this. This will turn ugly against the government, against this guy Boris Johnson, against the government in the UK. Because the people, they will rise and they will get what they want, as history has shown us several times across centuries. The people rise and eventually they get what they want. But if you have been listening to my podcast for the last couple of months, I mean, I've been doing this podcast at least for 6-7 months, maybe 8 months. So if you're listening to my podcast, you know what to do. You need to get your potatoes, you need to get your pasta, you need to get some water, you need to stockpile some toilet paper, some dry beans, I don't know, and prepare for winter, because winter is coming. the winter of the year 2022 is going to be a very tough winter for the majority of Europe. Well, I mean, at least for the 99% of the population, is going to be a very difficult winter. The 1%, which is the politicians, the millionaires, the billionaires, for this 1% of people which live in their own little bubble, in their own little world, inside their heads, they will be okay, because they have infinite amounts of money. They can just do whatever they want, they can buy whatever they want. But for the 99% of people which have to live in this mess which the politicians have created, for the 99% of people, it's going to be a very difficult winter.
I wanna be a dog, I wanna see the sky, I wanna Diet Coke, a burger and some fries and